Hell yeah, heartbeat of America.
Welcome back to Veteran Idiot. I'm Art. This is the finale of the LS swap. I'm hoping I'm not jinxing myself again, but I think we got everything we need here to get it done. And we got some HP tuner over here. We'll tune the computer, get VATS turned off. VATS, the vehicle anti-theft system, is programmed into these trucks or these computers. It sounds a little bit like this. Not good. So obviously we can't drive around like that. So what we need to do is turn that off, and then it should start and run. The pedal that I bought for it, I thought this engine and computer was from a 2003, 2005. It's not, it's from a 2006. So it's a different pedal, different harness. And so this pedal that I bought before, we're gonna have to get rid of. It doesn't turn the butterfly in there. So I got a new pedal, I got the right belt, and this is how wet behind the ears I am with this LS stuff. I didn't know that the AC compressor isn't included in the entire fan belt. I thought it was one serpentine belt that did everything. It's not. So it's just a factory belt that goes on there. While I was chasing all these dimensions and lengths and stuff like that, it's just a factory belt. Only difference is between the 200 amp alternator and the one that comes factory with it. But got a factory belt, we're gonna throw it on. It's approximately 93 inches for those that are asking. And we're gonna throw that one on there. Got the pedal harness. I'm hoping it works. Pedal harness, new pedal in the box, radiator hoses. This thing's gonna drive today. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go through, start zip tying all this wiring, getting it up out of the way, mounting everything, running that harness through the wall. Probably have to drill a hole for that plug. Put it through the wall, and then we're gonna tune this thing and fire it up. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on this fan belt. It basically goes around the crank pulley, around the crank pulley, back across the water pump, power steering, alternator, under the idler, and around the tensioner. And that's it. The AC sits back here and runs off this inside one. Who knew? Apparently everybody else. I didn't know. But that's how it goes on. And that's what we're going to throw on. It's always smart to have the tool you need in your hand before you get over here and do that. I don't know why to me this still looks a little short, but hopefully it's not. Ooh. Oh, finally. There we go, it's on. All right, we can check off that fan belt. Now, need to move on to working all this wiring through, that way we can get this on. Before I throw this on, actually, I want to cycle the key and see if the butterfly does the butterfly things when I hit the pedal. So let's throw this onto the TAC. Let's plug this guy in. Which direction we got here? Interesting, it doesn't have a clip on there. The clip's broke off. Might be a zip tie thing. Oh, my fender! Open up this box. I don't know what I did with my knife, because this ain't a knife. All right, new pedal. So this one is a 6-pin. You can tell it is by the way that it is.
You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is. Wow.
With 6 pins, 6 to 10. Even though there's not 10 pins in this, there's only 6, it's still a 10-pin position plug or whatever. So anyways, this should work. Clips on. All right, let's get the key, see if we can cycle it. Key is on. Oh, Oh, it's beautiful. Just cool. Now we can bolt it all in. LS Squarebody, powered by Ford. Computer's all wired in, fuse box is in, got a couple of powered by Ford fuse relays in there. So the computer's nice and solid mounted in there. The only thing I haven't run is the TAC. I'm trying to figure out if I should put it up here or where it should go out of the way, because the cable's going to come through the wall right there. And it's got to fit this guy, so I'm going to have to enlarge the hole after I take that cable out. But we'll figure out where to put this after we get this in here and the pedal and know exactly how much length we have, so on and so forth. But nothing left to it but to do it. Okay. Everything inside is pretty much done, so we're gonna have to do out here. So I drilled a hole in the firewall in there to get the wire through to the TAC. Now it's plugged in. We're gonna mount that TAC probably under the intake on the plate that goes here. I'll have to see, because back on the back of the firewall this doesn't look great, and the wire from the throttle won't actually reach anywhere else, so we'll figure that out. But now we got radiator hoses. So I got to unbox here, fill those on, fill it up with coolant. OBD2 port is in, and the pedal itself is in. It's kind of at an awkward angle, but the way that GM molded this pedal, you can't really do much else with it, but it cycles all the way down. So it's good enough. So let's get on that radiator. Yikes! Still good. Let's get on this radiator, finish this up, that way we can start hooking up the intake manifold and fire this guy off, but after some tuning. Well, all the hoses are in, intake's on. I'm gonna pull that back off because I gotta go get some hose clamps. I only got one hose clamp in the whole freaking building. Who would have thought? Anyways, I gotta go get some hose clamps and it's time for a soda pop break. So I'm gonna go get one of those, get my clamp, and then we'll fill it up and I'll start tuning it and we can fire it up and maybe back it out, pull it in, check everything, back it out, pull it in. drive it around the block. Who knows what we're gonna do with it. But for now, soda pop and hose clamp. Hose clamp. Gotta get hose clamp. And I'm back. Soda pop acquired. Got some hose clamps. Let's fill this thing up. Oh man. Swamp cooler helps out a lot. There's no way I'd be out here doing this without it. It is a bajillion degrees outside. Just walking over and getting in the truck was exhausting. Some people have been asking why I've been driving Earl around. Well, Earl ain't got no air conditioning. It's 120 degrees outside. So what I ended up doing is just getting some late model radiator hoses from like a 2006 GMC or Chevy, and they fit right in, go in perfectly. And then you just cut one side here, put in this little adapter, and then you can put in your steam port right into the side of it. So it works pretty well. Not the most reliable hose clamps, I would say. They're, you know when they're tight because the Phillips end of it strips out. Let's fill her up with juice. What on earth? It's full of tire rubber. I mean, how does that even happen? Make sure you use the orange juice. It's got vitamin C. We're leaking from the heater hose. Just pouring around her. It ain't stopping. Wow. Well, that sucks. Dang it. Losing all my freshly poured coolant right out of the heater hose. It is just dumping out of it. Doesn't seem to matter how much I tighten it down, it is just pouring out of it. So either the hose has got an issue or maybe the water pump. Please just be the hose. Please just be the hose. And so what we're gonna do for right now is we're just gonna bypass the heater core. I need to get a smaller hose to run over there for that. Apparently it's just too big. It won't clamp down and seal off. So that's where we're at with that. Easy enough fix or temporary repair, whichever way you want to look at it. Heater bypass installed. All right, let's throw all that crap in that we just lost. No leaky. All right, I'm gonna pop out the ignition relay, turn it over, pump around some of that water. All right, I think we're as far as we're gonna get right now is filling it up with water until we crank it over. So let's tune this guy and fire it up. Actually, before we get to that, I'm gonna hook up this ground. This is for the headlamp on this side. It also helps with the harness itself. All the lights on this side. This thing is not in great shape. Where'd that go? There you go. And then the harness, which of course is in a terrible position. I think it got eaten by battery acid. That's what I'm thinking anyways. Pop this on the ground where things go to get grounded. Give it a little brr, brr. That's not the right size. What the? I've got thick skin, elastic heart, bolt. Nut. Where is the nut for this guy? It's missing. It is straight up not having a good time. What the F? Straight out now, tell me, do you really want to love me forever? Oh. Yeah. All right. Cool. Tune. Let's tune it. So we're all tuned up. Not really a tuning like air, fuel, and everything else. Basically just turned off VATs and pulled the factory file, copied the factory file, so I got a base tune. So turning off the VATs, it should fire up now. We should be good to go to see what we got. It's the moment we've been waiting for. Let's crank it over and see what we got. Check the oil pressure. 40 pounds of goodness. Power steering pump's yelling at me. Let's see if the throttle pedal works. There you have it, LS Swapped Squarebody. The little clickety-clack noise you hear back there is the starter, the little idler bearing, the flex plate itself nicks every once in a while coming across and makes a little tinging noise. That's that. I thought it was a knock at first. I was a little scared, to be honest, but I just need to loosen up the starter and kind of pull it away just ever so slightly, tighten it back down. It's just a little bit too close. This thing purrs. So what I did is, because this entire top section here runs above the radiator and the fill point is below that, I had to pull this upper radiator hose off and fill it up to get down into the engine and then put it back on. And now it's pulling lots of hot air through it. And I don't have a coolant sensor hooked up right now for the gauges. However, because we're now living in the 2000s, I have the OBD2 reader hooked up. I use Torque as an app, and on that app it'll show me my coolant temperatures. And if it'll, there we go, coolant, I got throttle position, vacuum, and RPM, so on and so forth, and I can add more stuff to it that I want to see as well. So right now, sitting at 192 degrees, it's been idling for a little while. I need to shut it off and move that starter over so it'll stop sitting there and clicking. But I'm happy this thing is good to go. It's going to be a nice truck, a good running truck. Now we just need to make sure it goes forward and backwards. Should we check that out real quick? Yeah, I think we should check that out real quick. So, next step is get it outside, clean it up, take it for a drive. Well, it's kind of hot out here, so I figured I'd pull over and stop for some shade under this tree. This whole trip has been great. The whole thing, it was a little tough in the beginning, but it's all about figuring out what parts you need, what you're gonna need, so on and so forth. But once it's in there, you look back at it, it wasn't bad at all. It's a little bit more expensive than I figured it was gonna be, but I think it's totally worth it, to be honest, with the reliability and the ease of just walking out, starting it up. Doesn't matter weather, anything like that. I think it'll pull really well with this as well, so I'm excited about that. Happy to have you guys with me on this one. Stay tuned, I got lots more coming, and it's gonna be good stuff. So see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Have fun.